I grew up here in Greenport, and I had a colorful childhood and teenage years. And so when I came back directly out of law school after I passed the bar exam to start practicing here. And a lot of people remembered me from when I was a teenager, so I was having a hard time getting anyone to take me seriously. At one point I decided maybe they would take me seriously if I became a judge. I'm not so sure they took me seriously for the first few years anyway, but once I got into it, I found that there was a lot of good I could do.
Bill had been an elected official for some 36 years in town government. I'm unaware of anybody in the history of this town that's been able to have that kind of run.
It was a community service. I got lucky early on. I didn't have to go to Vietnam like a lot of my friends did. So I kind of figured I owed something, and it seemed to me that this was a way to do it.
As a person, he is one of the most helpful, one of the most loyal friends you could have. As a judge, he served with a great deal of dignity, compassion, and commitment.
As a judge, people come in with problems that I can't solve. They're impossible. But sometimes you can point them in the right direction so that they can solve them.
I'm the new Southold Town Justice. I took over for Justice Price, who retired at the end of December. Bill Price was not your standard cookie-cutter judge. He was his own person.
Being a local, I knew a lot of the stuff about the people out here, and I could take some of that into account when I was doing my work as a judge.
It has been my privilege and pleasure to serve with Bill Price on the East End Justice Courts, and most especially with the East End Regional Intervention Court, which is the drug court for the East End.
When you take a look at someone who comes in front of you, there's always something good about them. They're not all bad and they're not all good. And so to be able to identify with some of the good things that they have and having a motivation to help them as opposed to hurt them or punish them, that's what I tried to do.
Bill's understanding and empathies with people with addictions was most valuable, both to them and to the court in general. I could always count on speaking to Bill when I had a problem, and his advice was both telling and true.
I sat with Bill for a while before he retired and before I took the bench, and he really just had 2 words of advice for me. He told me to do good, and I plan to take that to heart.